Sports Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
I told him that our defense was phenomenal. I mean, we hold any team to 11 points at halftime. We should win. We just really needed to get going on the offensive end.
Yeah, getting off tomorrow, I felt like will be big for us, getting healthy. And then coming back, Haven, they're on a 1-3-1. That is probably one of the better 1-3-1s in the state. And they're lengthy and tall, so it'll be a good game.
Unhappy with his role at Kansas State, and I think Kansas State was unhappy with his commitment to the program. I think this goes back to when he left to go home for a funeral and then missed his flight. It wasn't going home to the funeral that was the problem, but missing his return flight or delaying his return flight, whatever the circumstances were there. I think that was the fulcrum of this tension.
Put it all together nice and clean. Mistakes are going to happen. It's never the effort. Eliminate the penalties at critical times. Lock in on that, and then keep building and creating momentum.
You got to be tough mentally and physically, and we are that. So got to continue to try to execute as good as we possibly can to make these games more advantageous for us. But at the same time, they all count for one at this point, and any way you can get them we'll take them.
It's inexcusable, and if I'm Kyle Shanahan on a team that's already struggling, I walk in the building and I say, much like Coach Tomlin says, I don't want hostages, I want volunteer, and you volunteered your way up out of this building.
I dream this. I can tell you I put my goals on my front door because I go out my front door every morning at 5 o'clock. So, I touch that piece of paper, my goals every morning, and I'm excited that I get to, hold up this trophy and have this award.
So, one story I always heard was Billy's first words were, beat Duke.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Hey, the weekend's here. It's Friday. Sports Day show. Steve Webster with you. Mike Hesher on Mike 2 today. Mike 4 is the College Bowl pick'em expert, Landon Winkler.
I think he's feeling pretty good about those picks. He was over here jumping up and down a couple minutes ago.
I'm very confident about them.
Well, I want you to be because I'm using yours. All right, on the show today, we've got a lot of things to go over. We're going to talk high school basketball. Sunflower Sports Solutions' Connor Nickel will talk about his take on the first week of the high school basketball season that is winding down into week 2, and also talk about some of the top players to watch in our area and across the state. Barton basketball coach Jeremy Combs, he's on the road today recruiting, so he's going to join us from southeastern Kansas via the telephone today. So we're going to talk to Coach Combs. They ended their 3-game losing streak against Seward County on Wednesday. Now, he was in Liberal.
I was just thinking he was in Liberal.
He was in Liberal, and then he's
got to go to Dodge.
He comes to
on
Great
Saturday.
Bend, and then he comes back, and now he's going down to Pittsburgh today.
And he's in Dodge City tomorrow.
Correct.
Holy mackerel. The life of a junior college coach.
Wouldn't that be the perfect addition for Sunflower Journeys?
Yes, it would.
If he's going to Pittsburgh, I'm going to ask him if he's going to stop by and see Big Brutus, the big giant coal shovel.
I remember. I was also thinking the Mafia was supposedly big in Pittsburgh.
That's Frontenac.
Oh, well, that's not very far away, though. Correct?
Well, no, you just drive from Pittsburgh into Frontenac.
Okay, right. I'm sure they were separated.
Why?
There was no Mafia in Pittsburgh if they're all in Frontenac.
That's just the word I get.
Okay.
My brother went to school down there. Said if you wanted some action, you go to Frontenac. And
I smoked a dog coming back from Pittsburgh.
Oh man, good thing. Okay, good thing it wasn't in Frontenac.
No,
it would have been Guido Brothers, man, and you'd be in trouble.
Leaving. Okay.
All right, and we'll check. We've got a lot of sounds the past 24 hours to get to, so let's go ahead and begin. And we'll begin with high school basketball today. Panther girls coach Jade Winter on her halftime talk. It was 11-9. Great Bend was trailing Clearwater yesterday. Both teams had more turnovers than points.
So it wasn't really a matter of good defense. It was just poor ball handling, or both.
Well, I think their defense, and they'd give up 11 points. Great Bend hadn't filled it up at that point either. But then going in, we took our first break at halftime, and I talked to Mike Marzo for a second. All the hype about Clearwater going to the 4A state tournament last year, they lost their best player, Elizabeth Jaden, who's starting, I guess, for Emporia State this year. I guess that made a big difference. We said, Great Bend's a better team.
Yeah.
They had all kinds. They just had to make some shots. In the second half, they did, and they ended up winning the game 35-30, an 11-2 run. So it's going to be Great Bend girls in this championship game of the Eagles Classic for the third straight year. They'll, in all likelihood, in fact, I will guarantee Landon's car on this, that Haven beats Kingman tonight to advance to be the Panthers' opponent at 6 o'clock tomorrow night in Kingman.
I'm pretty familiar with that Haven team. They're pretty good.
Cassie Elligood, a career-high 10 points. She had 11 rebounds to lead Great Bend.
Wow.
Nice game. Okay, scoring not a problem for the Great Bend Panther boys last night. You could just chalk it up at that point that there was going to be a running clock. Great Bend scored the first 22 points of the game, led 22-zip. Clearwater did get a couple free throws in the quarter, make it 22-2. Great Bend goes on to win 69-22. That's junior Dax Minton. He had a career-high 17 points. He's good. He's a good rebounder.
Is he?
Oh, good inside player.
Boxes out well.
And he had some good assists. Yeah, Great Bend just rolling. After a scare on Tuesday against Sterling. So Great Bend boys will match up against Haven in the boys' title game at 7:30. I'm going to say Haven will win tonight as well in their game.
Oh, so they play tonight. Both teams play from Haven.
Correct.
Okay, so this is an assumption.
Yes, an assumption, but again, I will...
An educated guess. Because you are educated.
Does your significant other have a car too, Landon?
Yes.
I will bet her car.
All right, I'm going to go.
That Haven boys will win. I don't know what you're going to get.
I was going to say, what does he get back in return?
Nothing, just the fact that he still has two cars to drive.
Okay.
So that will be, and Haven is not ranked, but, that's Lonnie Paramore. It's 1-3-1.
And it's Roper on the women's girls side.
Dwight.
Yes, Dwight.
Yeah, Dwight Roper.
Yes.
So I was going to make a point, but you took me off it real quick. Okay, so Haven and Great Bend tomorrow.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. This will be a good matchup.
I'd be interested to see how that plays out.
Okay, so we'll have that on B104.3 The Point. So the games tonight, Sterling plays Clearwater in boys and girls action. Kingman takes on Haven. That's at the Eagle Classic. At the Katy Classic, where you will be basically for the next 2 days.
Correct.
Give me the schedule.
All righty. So for today, on the girls' side, we have Hoisington taking on Larned. That game will be at 5:30. This is the championship semifinals. Hoisington and Larned. That will be at the middle school at 5:30. And then on the other side of the bracket, at the high school at 5 o'clock, it'll be Buckland and Holcomb. And that's on the girls' side. And then moving to the boys' game, the first game of the day will be... Let's see. They got. Okay. And the boys. Okay, I got it. It'll be St. John and Holcomb boys. They play at 6:30 at the high school, and then Hoisington Plainville will play at 7 o'clock at the middle school. That's the action today in Larned.
Okay, so and then check Great Bend Post tomorrow because we'll try to. The KU is supposed to play tomorrow, but that game is going to be here on 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. For Jayhawk fans, that's where you can find that game tomorrow, 1:30 against North Carolina State for the pregame show.
That is our best guess at this point. I'm thinking it's pretty sure.
Okay, all right, very good. I wanted to say about Haven. They played Meade last night, a 1A school that's coached by Cole Kenneman.
Right.
And it's Cole's second year, and it looks like Dad's coaching on the sideline. I mean, he's got the same mannerisms. This game in the third quarter was tied at 26-26.
Defense.
Then Haven went on a 28-2 run.
The 1-3-1 started to take effect.
What a scrappy team that Meade has.
Well, did they go 19-4 last year? Is that what you told us? And made the state tournament?
Yeah. So the game ended up, the final, it was 26-26. A 28-2 run made it 54-20.
That 1-3-1 just wears on you.
And then Haven ended up winning the game 64-31.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I've seen several of those runs by Haven over the years.
Okay, other high school basketball from yesterday, the Purple and Gold tournament up in Waukene. Hodgman County girls win 54-37 over Osborne. Amos Morris Classic in Russell last night. Let's see. Ellsworth got beat, girls 67-44. Ellenwood in non-tournament action beat Medicine Lodge 65-34. Ellenwood girls off to a good start. And Reno County beating Otis Bison 33-26. Boys basketball last night, Hodgman beats Ness City 55-29. That's up at Waukene. Amos Morris Classic last night. Ellsworth loses to Sunrise Christian. No one won Sunrise Christian in their tournament.
Because Ellsworth boys are pretty good still.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
I saw that score and went, wait a minute, that can't be right.
63-25.
Yeah.
So Sunrise had been at Kingman. And then Otis Bison boys win last. I think Otis Bison boys are going to be good. 77-52. They're off to a good start. They win last night, and Stafford beat Cunningham 59-48. How about Stafford here early in the season? So there's your high school basketball. Tim Fitzgerald, GoPowerCat.com. K-State will be without the services of Acor. Acor's left the program. Tim Fitzgerald talking about release to go home, but he's just speculated on that, but it didn't work out. K-State 8-3 this season. Kansas Jayhawks look to snap their 2-game losing streak tomorrow, again hosting North Carolina State at Allen Fieldhouse. That will be at 1:30. You can see the game on ESPN. So that's Kansas action tomorrow. Okay. Matt Nagy, Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator, working on things right now for a complete game offensively. They take on the Cleveland Browns. They better.
Well, you know who the pass rusher is for Cleveland, though.
Who?
Myles Garrett, correct?
Whatever.
Well,
they beat the Chief tackles so fast that they move upfield and then
Mahomes yes. And I don't think DJ Humphrey's playing.
No, they get him, and Blake Bell, I'm telling you, is going to end up at tackle. They're going to re-sign him to play offensive tackle. Good news for the Chiefs, opening the practice window for wide receiver Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown. He's been on the injured list since hurting his shoulder in the preseason opener, so he's got a 21-day window to practice before the Chiefs must decide whether to activate him.
And you're hearing a lot of good things about the rookie wide receiver, whose name now escapes me, Worthy, that he's coming around. Patrick Mahomes is excited.
He needs to.
Well, yes.
Now, I heard that, another news today, the Miami Dolphins released Odell Beckham, so is he going to be the next guy in Chiefs camp?
I don't think so. I think they're going to. How are they doing this under the salary cap? I mean, because I heard like when they signed the tackle, they only had they didn't have very much money, but they
haven't signed Odell Beckham yet.
Well, I don't think they will.
Blake Bell, you get him for cheap, man. He's not playing right now. So there's the Chiefs. Now, the schedule, Chiefs play Cleveland. That's noon, so 10 o'clock on B104.3 The
11
Point.
o'clock.
Yeah, you're right, 11 o'clock. On B104.3 The Point. Kickoff at noon. One of those dreaded noon kickoffs. The Broncos are back in action. They take on Indianapolis at Horseheads Field tomorrow.
They shall keep winning.
Our game that we're going to have on KVGB on Sunday, 3 o'clock, Pittsburgh at Philadelphia.
I saw that. That's an interesting game.
Yeah, and then Sunday Night Football is Green Bay at Seattle, and two Monday Night Football games for you. The Bears. Someone jumped on the Bears bandwagon in television this year. They play at Minnesota, and Atlanta is at Las Vegas.
But the Sunday afternoon game, that's the Buffaloes taking on Detroit.
Did I miss that
one?
You
missed that one, yes.
Gosh, that's the biggest one. Oh, yeah, Buffalo at Detroit.
Buffalo at Detroit.
Go. Can you give me a lion roar, Landon? Yeah, give me a lion roar.
It can sound a lot like the Panther.
No, that's okay. Give me a good lion roar. Come on, just do it. It's yeah, okay, that was Hesh. We go for the Lions. Okay, Matt Stafford last night doing what it takes to win at this time of year. So last week, the Rams were in the NFL's highest scoring game of the season when they beat Buffalo 44-42. Last night, they beat the 49ers 12-6. Not a touchdown scored in that game. Watch out for the Rams. I don't think you want to be playing them right now.
They seem to be peaking at the right time.
San Francisco, though, they've got problems. They're probably out of the playoffs right now. That's hard to believe for the 49ers. Have been so good. But they've got more issues on their hands. ESPN's Ryan Clark talking about Devondre Campbell, who refused to enter the game in the third quarter after he lost his starting job when Dre Greenlaw returned from an injury. He played 90% of the defensive snaps for the 49ers, but was benched after Greenlaw came back for his first game since he tore his left Achilles tendon. Then when Greenlaw left with soreness in the third quarter, said, nope, not going to go in. I'm not going to play. And then he walked off. You think he's got a job?
I would.
Ryan
hope
Clark
not.
says they need
Did he take off his shoulder pads like Odell Beckham did a few years ago?
No, he did not take his shoulder pads off, but he had his helmet off.
Okay.
And they escorted him off. Just say you go down the field by yourself. We're not going to waste a guy to take you in the locker room.
Well, you don't know what he would have done, though.
Well,
Security.
that's probably a good point there. All right, Chris Kleiman doesn't know yet if all the players are going to be playing in bowl season. The Cats play on December 26th on Thursday in the Rate Bowl. No one knows at this time of year. Bowls right now are like a wounded animal.
They are.
Do you let them continue to suffer, or you just come by and shoot them?
I would shoot them. But it's money for ESPN.
Rutgers and Kansas State. An inside tip.
Uh-oh.
That Landon has taken K-State to win this game.
Oh.
And so have
He
I.
only did it because that's a Kansas school.
Well, I don't care. He said he's picking Notre Dame because we got a banner up in here. That's why I
chose him.
Is the person to beat in the bowl pick'em contest. You need to get the Great Bend Post, by the way, if you want to play that by tomorrow. All right, Travis Hunter, Colorado's two-way standout, Associated Press College Football Player of the Year. Is that kind of the prerequisite for winning the Heisman?
More than likely,
I think
yes.
he's got to. He plays on both sides of football. Nobody does that anymore. Talking about he's got a sign that when he leaves the house every day, he's got a message on his goals.
Which
that
is?
he looks at every day.
I didn't see this.
So, Mike Casher, my question to you, when you walk out your door every morning, what is on your goal sheet that you have right by the door?
Drive safely to Great Bend.
No, it's dark, yeah, that would be bad.
I mean, it is dark. I don't see the light a lot.
And Bill Belichick saying the word around when he was growing up, that's the first words that Bill said was beat Duke. Well, I'll get his chance now as new coach at North Carolina. Interesting stuff.
Beat Duke.
All right, there your sounds the past 24 hours heading into the weekend. Questions, omissions, corrections.
My first words were beat the Oakland A's.
So your first words were actually a complete sentence.
Yes. Well, I was like 12.
My first words was, no, I don't want to.
Well, that's pretty good for a sentence. I mean, that's usually the first word kids say is no. Okay, there you go. All right, coming up, Sunflower Sports Solutions.
Mommy or daddy. They don't say no, do they? That's what the parents say.
Yo, mama.
Yo, mama. Okay.
Connor Nickel talking high school basketball on Sports Day. Next, it's all brought to you by the Animal Medical Center in Great Bend. Large or small, they take care of them all. And Equity Bank, here when you need them. Bank local, save big with in-person banking and business banking. Find out everything they can do for you. Just go to equitybank.com.
Step into the spotlight with Barton Community College's theater program. Whether you dream of performing on stage or creating magic behind the scenes, Barton offers hands-on training, expert guidance, and creative performance opportunities. With top-tier facilities and a supportive community, you'll develop the skills to shine. Turn your passion into a career and start your journey to the stage at Barton. Learn more at theater.bartoncccc.edu.
Cine Doors' Christmas message may not be original, but we hope your Christmas shines like the eyes of a child in a toy store.
I wanted to wish everyone a Merry Christmas.
Papa! That's right, Hadley. I think you just did, Eddie.
Oh yeah, and have a Happy New Year to boot.
Mom, Dad, and everyone at Cine Doors prays your holidays are filled with love and happiness. We hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas from everyone at C&E Doors. C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
It's the day before we give away $20,000 with a $20K Christmas cash giveaway. And you can become an instant finalist today at Bauer Computers, 10th and Jackson in Great Bend until 5 o'clock. Come on in and talk to Chase, see what kind of deals he's ready to make. 50% off all used laptops and desktops. If you want to check out the inventory, find it at BauerComputers.com and take 50% off that sale price. He's also got USB-S rechargeable batteries. Great for all the gadgets that will be sitting under the Christmas tree this year. Phones, iPads, cases, everything you need to get stocked up for Christmas. The best deals of the year, 50% off all used laptops and desktops, are happening today at Bauer Computers, 10th and Jackson in Great Bend. Stop on by before 5 o'clock to become an instant finalist. For the $20K Christmas cash giveaway, we're giving away that $20,000 tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Don't miss your chance. $20K Christmas cash giveaway brought to you by Bauer Computers, Mayo Money Management, and Mater Plumbing, Heating and Air, your Bryant dealer, whatever it takes.
What's going on in high school sports? Well, let's ask him. Sports Day is proud to welcome in Sunflower Sports Solutions' Connor Nickel.
Connor Nickel with us on a Friday on Sports Day. It's all brought to you in part by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend and the Great Bend Rec Commission, dedicated to improving our community and the lives of its individuals. Connor Nickel, Sunflower Sports Solutions, joining us on the show today. I want to hit on basketball, and we're going to talk about some of the top players in our area and across the state that we're looking at. Some impressions early in the season. Connor, I saw a heck of a game on Tuesday. It was at the Kingman Eagle Classic, and I think the 2A should be put on notice that the Sterling Black Bear boys basketball team not going anywhere. Great Bend had to rally from 8 down in the final 4 minutes to win that game by 1 point. And despite some losses last year, it looks like Derek Snyder's got him a pretty good basketball team over in Sterling.
Yeah, that was actually the game I wanted to do a start on. And Sterling, they've been that has been a basketball school now for a long time, and Coach Snyder has done an outstanding job. You're exactly right. I mean, I think that for Great Bend boys to destroy Clearwater, there's obviously a struggling team, but beating Salina South team by well over 20 points. But yeah, what a great game. I mean, that to me has been one of the highlighted games early on across Kansas. I think Sterling will look back at that game in 3 months and think, you know what, we just hung with one of the best teams in the state. The ability again for Great Bend to score at such a high rate. I mean, their offensive capabilities is just really high. I mean, we are talking top 5 offense, all classes. I mean, I really believe that. And obviously it starts with the Premier. But Great Bend's ability to score in bunches is really impressive. And one thing I've noticed early on, too, is you've had a lot of teams playing at extremely high tempos. I mean, just like 75 possessions a game tempo.
Yes.
Which is just really a high rate, and you're seeing teams really try to push the envelope on offense even more than I've seen in previous years. That's been one global takeaway so far through the first week.
Should Great Bend be concerned about their lack of three-point shooting?
Well, my take on that is if you can score inside enough, you have to hit some threes at basketball level right now. I even tell my girls, and our best players are 4 and 5 players who are both averaging. One's averaging 15 rebounds a game. One's averaging 19. Wow. And so, yeah, I mean, we are rebounding the heck out of the ball, but we still have to hit 2 or 3 threes a game, just because you have to have those possessions where, Mark Johnson always said this, that if you're not shooting the ball average, you have to do everything else great. And if you can just make a couple threes a game, it's really hard to get to 60 points, which is now what it takes to win in 5A boys and to a lesser extent 5A girls. You've got to be able to hit some threes. But obviously threes can come and go. If you can be consistently a 33% shooting team on the boys' side, the ebbs and flows will eventually work its way out. So if you have a 3 of 18 or whatever, that won't last long.
Okay, they're likely to play Haven tomorrow night. Haven's not ranked this year, but you know what they have? Lonnie Paramore, and they've got the 1-3-1 defense. So what about this year's team?
Yeah, and I've got Great Bend as the favorite. I think this is going to be a solid Haven team. Haven is, I've always liked watching Haven play, both on the girls on the boys side, and again the 1-3-1. That's been Coach Paramore's for a long time. I've talked to him about this. I've written features on it too. And he goes, we want to hang our hat on something. And this is it. So you know what you're going to see. I think it's been really effective. Haven has a lot of really good athletes this year. I don't think they can score at Great Bend's level, but I would anticipate Great Bend having a season low in points, but still getting a very solid win. Who, again, I think in 2A, 3A basketball is going to be an above-average team.
Okay, so the Haven girls ranked 5th, and Coach Roper looks like he's got it. I mean, saw them play a little bit yesterday. Another good team. How good is this Haven squad that Coach Roper has this year?
Yeah, this is another. A couple of years ago, I talked to him about this. It was the year after his daughter graduated. They went through a very young cycle where he really only played. He goes, I'm only playing 5 kids. He goes, and I have a 6 who plays, and 2 of them are freshmen. Now those freshmen are now juniors. And that year he had really overachieved. The Bronner girl is an exceptional athlete. I mean, she is really, really good in softball. And they kind of went through that overachieving young team 2 years ago, and now you're seeing the fruits of that. I've always said this, that so many teams that are good now, you could see the seeds of that two years back. Mm-hmm. And now Haven's playing with all his confidence. So he went 16-6 or so 2 years ago with not much in the way of depth or experience. And again, all those people have grown up. I believe there is an Mestel girl still there, but in particular, he's got a lot of really good athletes who have now played a lot of basketball.
Yeah, Great Bend will have their hands full, certainly, with that game tomorrow night. I did want to talk about how about the statement that the Hayes High girls have made in 5A, going down and scoring 77 points at Liberal against a team that's ranked in 6A.
Yeah, that was I think that Dustin Miller should pull up the note. I'd wondered about it too, but it is the most points Hayes High girls have scored in years. Hayes High girls, and the same thing as you talked about here. 2 years ago at this point, Hayes High girls was a 500 team trying to find their way with a bunch of sophomores starting a lot, and now you've got a bunch of seniors who have all been playing a lot. And, Schmeidler, the fantastic freshman, has found her way into the lineup. It was very balanced scoring the other night. Zoe Winter had 13. Jenna had 9. The Martin girl did what she normally does. Hayes High is 7-8 deep now of really, really talented players. I mean, this has been the team that Hayes High has been looking towards for a long time.
Okay,
a long time.
How good is Schmeidler?
I think that she's a Division I player.
Okay.
Yeah. So she plays on the Team Kansas. My daughter actually did a training session with her this fall. I came away really impressed. I know, as many people know this, but her dad was an all-time great at Hayes High. They own the pit, the indoor training facility in Hayes that's used by many, many people. Schmeidler's a Division I player.
Real deal then. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I did want to talk about some of your top players in the area and across the state that we should be looking at this year. And we'll just start with the boys and then move into the girls.
Yeah, certainly. So on the boys' side, what Hayes High has done starting out has been really impressive with only having a week of practice. Dawson Reuter is going to be really, really good. Hayes High boys have this several seniors now of just really good kids. Many of them who contributed in a massive way in the fall team. Cooper Lynn Myers, and another one too, who I think is a really nice player. Another one too that I really like a lot is the Cure boy at Goodland is going to be a really nice player. Bishop Seabury. Last year, of course, they lose the 1A1 championship game to South Gray. They return two of the state's best players. They've got their kid inside. He's got a foreign name, so I don't want to pronounce it wrong. But he was the kid who led the state in blocks last year. Averaged a double-double. I mean, Seabury in that class should definitely be the favorite. South Gray humbled them last year in the championship game. I was there, and I think that Seabury's back, and it's going to be a really, really nice team to watch.
Okay, on the girls' side, some of the top players in our area and across the state.
Yeah, and I've told our team, my girls, on the girls' side, we've played Duke and KU to start. I mean, Quinter is really good. I mean, Bryn Gillespie, the senior, they've won their two games. They beat us by 30, and then they beat Pawnee Heights by 55 the other night. Bryn Gillespie started in a state championship game 2 years ago, and she's trained with Rob Davis at the pit, the same place that the Schmeiler Zone. She's going to be a great 1A player, and then seeing Wichita County shoot the ball the other night. They are a team. They play NBA style. They're going to shoot 35 to 43 threes a game. They've got two sisters who are really, really good. They lead the state in scoring right now. They're very senior laden. That's a program that has kind of built from nothing. They went 23-1 last year. Hayden Heim from St. Mary's is a really impressive player. She is committed to Central Missouri for basketball. I think that St. Mary's is a really, really strong team. I think that the Hoxie girls are going to be really strong again. They don't have necessarily the standout like they did last year, but Hoxie has 6 players plus a 6-foot sophomore. Quinter's got a great freshman, too, who from the Golden Belt area. Braylon Blackwell's the great freshman. Katie Blackwell is her mom, who is a Maxville graduate, and then was all RMAC at Fort Hayes. So Eddie, you may actually have called some of her games.
Yeah, a long time ago.
So this is Braylon Blackwell's. This is her daughter, and she is a freshman, and she is really, really good. And so Quinter adds that to the mix as well. Tayton Dewey from Rollins County is another. They were a state qualifier team last year. Been really impressed with how St. John has started. They've really blown out some teams. And again, strength of schedule plays a role. But I think after Tuesday, everybody at this point will have played somebody pretty good. I do like what Ellen Ward has done, going down to Kiowa County, taking care of some business down there. But yeah, you've got some really nice young players. We mentioned some freshmen who have really, really shown out. Heck, I've got 2 freshmen in my top 6, and one freshman's hurt right now, and I can't wait for her to come back.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I can see that, Coach. Okay. I want to mention St. John real quick because they've got a ton back, but they lost, just one player. But that's Heidi Fisher. She's such a key player to the team. But it looks like that Danny Smith's certainly been able to fill that position. But sometimes you never know. A player that's played so many games and a leadership role, but looks like so far so good.
Yeah, so far so good. The ability, for the ability for St. John to be so offensively efficient so far this year, I think has really stuck out to me. I didn't necessarily know how that would go. I mean, Coach does a fantastic job, but St. John's not necessarily known for putting up
65 points a game.
Yeah.
But they are now. Obviously, the Reed girl is a super impressive player. Is committed to Fort Hays. But for St. John to score points in bunches, that's been a little bit different. Hays can play a role of that, but just offensive efficiency too. And again, the biggest takeaway is the number of teams across the state in all classes that are scoring 70-plus points a game so far has been more so than I can remember for an early start in, years and years.
Okay, one more for you before we let you go. And you mentioned Maxville, and Jeff Kuckelman has announced this is going to be his last year as the coach of the Mustangs. He has his team currently ranked 5th in Class 1A Division 1. Is there one more state title or a good run left for Coach Kuckelman?
Well, Coach K, what an incredible job he's done. And there were rumblings about this. I had heard a rumor about this percolating even in the fall that this could be it. And the major thing is you look at their Spearville game, and again, Maxville plays at a pace that is so fast. But they're giving up way more points than what they were 2 years ago. Their turnover creation is down. 2 years ago when they won state, we had mentioned this, that they were giving up in the 50s, but they're playing 70 possessions a game. So their defensive points per possession was actually in line with what state championship game many teams allow, and they led the state in steal rate. Well, the last 2 years on defense, they just have not been. They've not been that good. And you look at that from what happened the other day too, allowing 30 points in the first quarter. Spearville put a lot of people in high figures. They shot the ball really well. Obviously, they've got 4 seniors for Maxville. He's not playing. He's not going deep. He's really only got 5 guys. But again, for Maxville to make a state run, they're going to have to be better on defense. I could say the same thing about other teams too. But that's where it kind of lies on that side.
Well, you said that last year about Great Bend, and it turned their season around. So there you go.
Yeah.
Go Mustangs. Hey, Connor, good luck, and we will talk to you next week, okay?
I appreciate it, sir. Thanks so much.
All right, Connor Nickel joining us here on Sports Day. Sports Day brought to you in part by the American Plains Co-op Bulk Fuel Department, featuring number 2 clear diesel, bulk fuel, E10, fuel delivery, and all your lubricants and fuel supplies. C&E Doors, your full-service garage door company. Follow the orange signs south of 10th and Harrison in Great Bend. And, of course, Equity Bank, adding value for their customers and communities. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoisington, and Larned. Connor Nickel here on Sports Day. More to come here on the Friday show on
Management
KVGB.
Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
Pulling acres ahead of the competition is simple. Cenex Maxtron synthetic diesel engine oils give you the smartest oil for the toughest conditions. These premium oils are formulated with EnduroVis technology and a balanced additive package to control deposits for a cleaner, more efficient engine that gives you proven durability. Cenex Maxtron diesel engine oils. Oil that runs smart.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Dr. Nels here, Animal Medical Center, and today we want to give a shout out to all the supporting cast at these basketball games. We have some great young men and young women on the court, but we also have some great young men and women playing their instruments, cheering, dancing, all those things. Let's clap for them. When they perform and get done, let's show them a round of applause, show them some love as well, because they deserve it. Dr. Nels here, Animal Medical Center, large or small, we take care of them all.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your central and western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
Cine Doors Christmas message may not be original, but we hope your Christmas shines like the eyes of a child in a toy store.
I wanted to wish everyone a Merry Christmas.
Papa! That's right, Hadley. I think you just did, Eddie.
Oh, yeah, and have a Happy New Year to boot.
Mom, Dad, and everyone at Cine Doors prays your holidays are filled with love and happiness. We hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas from everyone at C&E Doors. C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local equity bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
It's time to talk Barton Cougar basketball with the head coach, Jeremy Combs, on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Time to talk Barton basketball. Head coach Jeremy Combs joins us on the show. The program brought to you in part by the Barton Cougar Booster Club, continuing their efforts to make the Barton Athletic Department the best in the country, and Freedom Claims Management, innovative healthcare plans for your business. Let them take care of everything for you from start to finish, and continued support. They have you covered. Well, the Sunflower Traveler joins us right now. Heck, you went to Liberal on Wednesday night, and now you came back to get. Now you're headed down to Pittsburgh. So yeah, Sunflower journeys for you, Coach.
Yeah, we're gonna go. From each side of the state, and then get back to Great Bend tonight, and then over to Dodge City tomorrow. So yeah, lots of traveling.
All right, we'll talk a little bit more about recruiting coming up here in just a little bit, but it was a fruitful trip to Liberal on Wednesday night. You got a win that you needed, ended that losing streak, 80-70. Boy, that's a solid road win when you go down there. And thoughts on the win on Wednesday, Coach?
No, I thought it was a really good win. It was definitely much needed, and it's been a long time since Barton had lost, 4 in a row, and I definitely didn't want to be the coach or have this team be the team to do it. But, we went down, we took care of business. Our guys were pretty focused. I thought we played really well, especially for a team that like theirs. They just really kind of mix it up defensively, and everybody for some reason has just been shooting really well against us, and so they shot the ball really well, but we were able to battle through that adversity and come out with a good win.
Yeah, because I know they say, okay, we got to defend the so how much is it teams just shooting well, or is it the defense, or is it a mixture of both?
It's a little bit of both, but teams are really just shooting really well. It's wild, and we that started out at Butler, they hit 10 threes against us, and then we played Pratt, and they hit I think they hit either 14 or 16 threes, and then I think Seward hit a bunch of threes the other night, over 10 threes. So and some of these teams are, Pratt and Seward are some of the teams that don't shoot it quite as well. So I don't know if they're going in against the defending national champs and just shooting it, with confidence, or what it is. Maybe it is our defense, but we've made a few adjustments on that, and I'm trying not to focus too much on it. I feel like we just got to ride the storm out, and eventually people, stop shooting so well against us.
Okay, you had a 16-point lead going into the halftime break, up by 9, but these games are so long sometimes. It's hard to maybe just put it away when you're up 15 or 16 and stretch it to 25 and 30. That stuff happens.
Yeah, it's kind of the deal with this team, and I think it reminds me a lot of my that national tournament team that when they were freshmen. We kind of let teams back in, and then once they grew up, they understood what they needed to do and things like that. So I think sometimes our youth, we kind of get spaced out and kind of forget what our jobs are and different things like that, but at the end of the day, the good news is we don't panic when we get in those situations. And so it's been good to see him do that. But yeah, that we need to grow a little bit as a team and kind of understand those situations and try to put teams away.
Yeah, absolutely. Because anytime in a team you're playing on the road and the home team goes on a 15-2 run and all of a sudden cuts it to 1 point, that is sometimes panic time. But then you scored the next 6 points at that point. One of those grow-up moments for your team.
Yeah, absolutely. I told the guys that there's a lot to learn in these games, and some of these games that we're playing that we do let guys back in, and then like I said, just don't panic. We kind of grow, and that's where we learn some things. And we had a couple guys that didn't play very well, and that's a learning moment for them. You don't learn a ton by blowing teams out or some guys playing really well, but they can learn a lot from making mistakes and things like that. And so we're okay with that. And we went back in the film session afterwards and let those guys see those mistakes and let them understand that. So we'll just continue to grow as a team.
Yeah, and you always come back, okay, we got to execute this, we got to do this, we got to run this play, okay, this defensive set, we're going to run an inbounds play and everything. And then it always comes down to, oh, yeah, did you hit your free throws? You hit your free throws Wednesday night, Coach.
Yes. No, that's one thing about this team. We're, knock on wood, we're a good free throw shooting team. And so, we decided at one point that we need to get to the line a little bit more if we're going to be such a good free throw shooting team. And so the guys have kind of bought into that and really focused on it. And, the other night we hit some big free throws down the stretch and part of it's just, the guys that know they're going to shoot free throws, guys that know they're going to get to the line a lot are really focused on it, really getting to the line in practice and putting that extra time in.
What's the focus to get to the free throw line, Coach?
Just attacking the paint. There's a lot of things. If we attack the paint, there's a lot of things that can happen. One, is obviously getting fouled, and that's being aggressive, getting to the free throw line. The other thing is, teams are going to help off, and then we can find the guy with a great shot, and the highest percentage three-pointer is a kick-out three. And so those are the ones that we have to make, or, we've got to make those passes, find those guys. And so when we do that, when we play aggressive like that and try to find our way to the free throw line, we usually can take good shots. And that's what happened in the first half. We were taking really good threes, and I think we shot at like 50 or 60% in the first half. I can't remember exactly what it was, but all of our threes were kick-out threes. And so it looked really good.
Okay. Tomorrow, Dodge City. They kind of 5-7 right now, 2-4 in the conference. What have you seen from Dodge?
They're a team that's beat some good teams, and they're a team that's lost to some. And so they're kind of up and down. But it's the story of the season for us is everybody's been ready for us. So we've got to make sure we're on edge and we're ready to go as well. They've got some big guys that are athletic, and they've got a really big kid and a 7'1" kid that takes up a lot of space, and then they got 4 or 5 really good guards, and so they're going to probably run some guards at us, and so our 4s and 5s are going to have to move their feet a little bit defensively, but they do a good job of mixing it up inside outside, and they shoot the ball fairly decent. They've got a couple guys that really shoot it, and then they've got some guys that are okay shooters, and so we're still going to have to get out there on those guys. They're college basketball players, and they can make shots. I always tell my guys that my sister can make a shot if she's wide open, occasionally, so you got to get a hand up. So we'll have to make sure we're focused on that and run them off the line.
Dodge City used to be, I don't know, it wasn't as an imposing road game. Even when they played out at the out by the casino or, of course, the Civic Center. I'm dating myself now, Jeremy. But now they have an on-campus site. It seems like that's given Dodge City more of a home court advantage than they had ever had before.
Yeah, they really have. I'm with you. I'm back with the Civic Center days.
Okay.
And I absolutely couldn't stand that place because the rims were so tight. You couldn't. Even if you dunked it, you couldn't break it away, and so it was not a really good shooter's gym, and then you had the stage behind you, So the student section wasn't quite as big, but now, that with them being on campus, they got a great little facility. It doesn't seat a ton, but these days you don't need that many seats, and but they put that student section right behind you, and they get after you pretty good. So it's a really good home court advantage for them, and we've just been lucky enough to kind of weather the storm over there a few times, and we'll have to do that again because it's going to be a wild game, I'm sure.
Okay, Cali, Butler, Coffeyville, they've kind of separated themselves at the top, but it is such a long season. But that win kind of hopefully settled things, and you just want to finish this one up, and then you go into the long Christmas break. But, that win was big, but, hey, it's a long season. You know that. Those teams up top still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, no question. And where our focus is, obviously, we need to finish out this semester. And it's kind of unfortunate that, we're kind of getting going again, and then all of a sudden it's going to end, and we're going to go on break and then come back and have to start all over. But, the conference isn't won this early. I see some of those teams, and it really, we haven't even made it halfway through. Yeah. So some of those teams have played, I don't want to say weaker competitions, but the teams at the bottom of the conference where we have faced Cali, we faced Butler. And so some of those teams are going to have to come back here and play, and we'll go to their place and things like that. So, I think once we get midway through, we'll kind of see a little bit better where things are at. One that Cali plays at, Coffeyville, so that'll be a big one. So one of those guys is going to get a loss. So, normally in this conference, it's, 3 losses will, keep you up at the top. So, we feel pretty strong as to where we're at. I know we dropped them early, but the guys are locked back in, and I think we should be okay.
Okay, so then you're off all the way until, January 4th, I believe. But so how do you handle what happens now? I mean, after Saturday's game, you guys get back, and then what happens as far as the break?
So in the past, I a couple of years ago, I didn't handle it very well. I let the boys pack their bags. We went to Butler to play, and we dropped them off the airport after the game and kept moving forward. And I think, again, our bags were packed and we were ready to leave, and we didn't play very well. So we basically told them not to do a darn thing until we get back from this game. And then Sunday they'll be able to leave campus and, go their own ways. We've got a couple of guys that are going to stick around just because they don't have anywhere to go as far as international kids. And then the rest of them will go home for a little bit. And then they return back on the 27th. And so we'll kind of get back to work at that point, but we're going to have them send us their workouts, send us what they're doing, and, it'll kind of be an honor system type deal. We'll have to trust them that they're getting in the gym and getting some stuff done.
Yeah, that honor system, you can say all you want, but when they kind of toe the line when they get back, that's when
we'll be in full-fledged conditioning mode when they get back. It's almost a reset, It's kind of nice at the next level, because they're gone maybe 2-3 days and then they're back. But it is what it is. That's what junior college does, and we've had to do it every year. And so again, my theory is let's just run and get back in shape, and then by the next game we should be ready to go.
Okay, excluding tomorrow night's game with Dodge, obviously haven't played it yet. Sum up the first semester for the Barton Cougars.
Well, dropping 3 and then dropping 2 at our place, that's absolutely a disappointment and unacceptable in my opinion. Just the way we've done things, and all that's on me. I think sometimes you reach that mountaintop and you kind of let up on things that you're doing, and so I had to take 2 days after that Pratt loss and kind of regroup myself and then get with my assistants and then get with my team and let them know hey, we're going to do it this way. This is the championship way. This is the Barton way. And so we're back to being locked in and doing the things that we're supposed to be doing. And again, I'm taking full credit for that, that letdown. And it's just disappointing to me. But at the end of the day, like we talked about earlier, it's a long season and it's not over with yet. We've got a talented team that can make that run. And so we're not panicking by any stretch, and we're going to continue to fight, and our goals still stand. We want to win conference, we want to win the region tournament, and win the national championship. And I think we really do have a team that can do that. We just got to make sure we stick together and do it as a team.
Okay, Jeremy Combs with us on the road recruiting today. Jeremy, I was wondering because we see the Division I level. We're talking about NIL and the transfer portal. So I guess a broad general question, has recruiting changed for you that much on the junior college level, maybe in the last 5 years, 10 years, or the conversations you have with the kids or people, their coaches? What's changed? What's stayed the same?
Yeah, it's really all changed, to be honest. From the level of type of kid that we can get, because obviously now the NCAA teams, they just want, they want to get older. That's the thing. I need to get older, so they're looking in the transfer portal. They're getting, guys, that some of them have already been there for a little while, but they're not recruiting high school quite as much. They're not recruiting prep quite as much. And so that allows us to go out and get some guys maybe that we hadn't had in the past. You talk about the NIL stuff, and that's real. I lost 3 guys to NIL this last year, to South Plains, to Salt Lake, and I think CSI was the other one. And so it's just weird that we're going down that path this soon. I knew it was coming. I just didn't know it was going to be this quickly. And then, the fact that these kids are looking ahead. They're seeing, hey, I can make money at the next level. And so we do talk about that. Some of our guys this past year are making a lot more money than I make, and just playing basketball and going to school. And so we talk about to those kids that if you come in here, we'll continue to work you out and get you better and get you to that level, just like we did with these guys. And then potentially, you can put a little money in your pocket. So it's now it's turned to a business. It's really different. Like I said, over the last 5 years, the landscape of college basketball has changed tremendously.
So what does an NIL deal to South Plains look like? I mean, I don't really...
Yeah, I don't know. I have, from my understanding, and again, I just don't think there's a clear path of how this is, how NIL even works, especially at the junior college level. I mean, you talk about name, image, and likeness, and that's, is it really name, image, and likeness? No. I don't think they're out down there selling jerseys, for this kid and giving him a percentage of it. I think it's, at the end of the day, it's just more like, they're getting an extra paycheck. And my understanding from what I was, told by this kid is he was getting $1,000 a month extra, on top of his scholarship and all this kind of stuff. So, it's the world we live in, and that's what they do. And, and I said, hey, we don't do that here. And they said, well, I can't pass up the money. And I said, well, that's fine. We'll move on. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's kind of what I, from what I'm understanding, how this thing's turning.
Okay, so all these kids come in, they've always had these, dreams of getting whatever to play in the NBA, right? So, but all I'm saying is, okay, so how much, is it any harder now to get them to say, okay, this is college, you got to go, classes, take care of this, because this is something you look back on or rely on later if the basketball doesn't work out. Is that message harder to get through now?
I think it is. Everybody's so unrealistic about this thing, but then again, everybody's getting some unrealistic, crazy numbers. It's such a business, like I said, and the school side of it's kind of gone out the door. But I think that comes down to the guys that we're recruiting, and I think obviously we've got guys with pretty level heads. We could have had some guys last year that they could have been thinking top 5. Programs in the country, but they, wanted to go somewhere where they knew they'd get on the floor, and, just luckily they were able to, put a little money in their pockets there at that level. But, I think some of these kids, they start thinking crazy and not worrying about the school stuff, which, I'm not really about, because I want to develop these kids into men and good dads and things like that. And, so in order to do that, they're going to have to get their education and make sure they can provide for their families. So, again, it comes down to recruiting and finding those kids that have their head on straight a little bit.
A good point, because really, let's see, self-awareness and, I guess, a level head still wins at any level. Don't you think? I
do. And I think, you're seeing it with some of these really, really talented, there's teams out there with 10, 11 D1 transfers that, that are probably those guys that are asking for that money and stuff like that, and not really worried about their education. And then you got these other teams that are out there that are hardworking and doing the things they're supposed to be doing and focused on the right things, and they're the ones that are being successful, whereas the other ones, they're not. So I'll take the hardworking guys that'll, focus on their grades and focus on their team and stuff like that, and I'll take those guys every day.
Well, Southeast Kansas better than I do, but you can take that cutoff there at Neodesha to go across to Pittsburgh that way, and you can make a stop at Big Brutus down there if you want to see something really cool. But
hey, so I went to Labette Community College. I played there, and so my roommate and I, when we first got down there, we had asked somebody, hey, what's there to do down here? And somebody said something about Big Brutus, and so we went over and looked at that thing, and I'm like, well, this wasn't, it's pretty cool looking,
yes,
but it wasn't, real exciting by any stretch. So we'll go on back to Parsons then.
Well, you didn't go all the way up where the scoop is, man. You guys just want to look at that. It's just a coal shovel, man. You got to get out on it and look around. That is,
if I remember right, I don't even remember we could even get close to the darn thing, and it was just kind of like, all right, well, that's it. We'll go back home.
All right. Well, you've already seen it then. I can't offer up anything else. Okay. Jeremy, safe travels today, and we'll try to work in next week, see what your schedule looks like as we wrap up our pre-Christmas Sports Day shows. Good luck tomorrow night.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Jeremy Combs, head coach of the Barton Cougars, with us here on Sports Day. More to come right after this.
Jumpstart your education with Barton Online. You can pick up a class or earn an associate degree for less than half the cost of a university. We are always enrolling. Start when it works for you. Choose from 5 sessions throughout the semester, including 16, 8, and 4-week options. Save big on the way toward your career or tackle your gen eds with our low-cost pathway. Visit online.bartoncccc.edu and enroll today.
If you're needing a healthcare plan for your business, let the experienced and dedicated staff at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's need. Regardless if you're a large corporation or a small business on Main Street, Freedom Claims Management Incorporated can help you provide your employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. Visit freedomclaimsinc.com where you can schedule a free, no-obligation health assessment today. Freedom Claims Management Incorporated in Great Bend.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
Boy, I guess I got a little too chatty with head coach Jeremy Combs, but I had to find out if he's going to Big Brutus. I guess he already knows about it. He doesn't like it as much as I did. Anyway, that's going to be our show for today, our shows for the week. A lot of high school basketball. Hope you enjoyed again. Check tomorrow. You can find out who's playing who and where and what station on GreatBendPost.com. I'll be in Kingman tomorrow, along with Mike Marzoff for a couple championship games. The Great Bend Lady Panthers taking on Likely Haven. Same for the boys at 7:30. Pregame will roll at 5:45 on B1043 The Point. We'll check with you on Monday, Sports Day, right here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Have a great weekend, everybody.